Small Stories from Life Part 24. Here is the first story, Shine in Your Own Way. A famous noble samurai came to the monk for advice. After the monk finished praying, he asked why I always feel inferior. I have faced death many times and defeated enemies many times. But when I saw the master meditating, I felt so small. Please wait for me to finish receiving all the guests today. I will answer. The monk slowly replied. He spent the whole day sitting in the temple yard and observing the people coming and going. He noticed how the monk welcomed everyone with patience and a bright smile. When night fell and all the visitors had gone, he said, "Now can you answer my question?" The monk invited him into the room. At that time the full moon was shining in a corner of the sky and the atmosphere was extremely quiet. "Do you see the beautiful moon? Tonight the moon lights up a corner of the sky, but tomorrow morning it will be the sun's turn to shine. The sunlight is brighter than the moonlight and can illuminate everything around me. I have observed the sun and the moon for many years but have never heard the moon complain. Why don't I shine as bright as the sun? Is it because I am inferior to the sun?" Of course not. The answer: the moon and the sun are two completely different entities. Each has its own beauty. We cannot compare the two, so you have the answer to your question. We are two different people, each with our own life, and we both aim to make the world a better place. So we should not compare ourselves to each other. Thank you for listening.
Followed by the second story, a story about nails. A boy had a very hot temper and was stubborn. One day, his father gave him a bag of nails and told him that every time he got angry or said something mean to someone, he should hammer a nail into the wooden fence in the backyard and think about what he had done. On the first day, he hammered a total of 12 nails into the fence. The following days, he tried to control his anger and the number of nails he hammered into the fence decreased day by day. He realized that staying calm was sometimes easier than hammering nails. Until one day, when he didn't need to use any nails, the boy believed that he had changed and was no longer as hot-tempered as before. He proudly showed it off to his father, and his father suggested that for every day he stayed calm, he should remove one nail that had been hammered into the fence for many days. Finally, the boy happily announced to his father that all the nails had been removed from the fence. The father took his son to the fence and said, "You did a good job, but look at the ugly holes left by the nails on the fence. The fence will never be the same again. The words you say in anger will hurt others, just like these nail marks. No matter how many times you say sorry, the wound will still be there. The wound in the soul is very difficult to heal and can only be healed by sincere love. So you should be careful with your words so as not to hurt others." The boy wrote down his father's lesson, and from then on, he was no longer angry for no reason like before. Thank you for listening.
Followed by the third story, What have you given to your family? When you were a child, you were willing to give up a bigger toy to your desk mate but fought with your younger sibling over a piece of candy. You happily took on the cleaning duties for your classmate but always compared the housework with your younger sibling at home. You were eager to show off your super chef skills on a camping trip with your class but didn't want to move your hands or feet to help your mother cook. You considered cooking to be something your mother had to do. You were willing to spend hours hanging out with your friends but couldn't spare a minute to teach your younger siblings. You always remembered to wish your classmates a happy birthday and give them birthday presents but sometimes forgot to take note of your parents' birthdays. You felt annoyed when you had to massage your mother when she was tired but forgot that she had stayed up all night to take care of you when you were sick. When you grew up and left your family, you realized that in times of sadness, disappointment or failure, your mother was the only one who was always there to encourage and support you. You begin to regret not behaving properly when your parents teach you. You suddenly realize that your younger sibling is also very lovely and caring for you. You feel regretful for losing so many warm moments of family reunion just to run after work, and when you have children you begin to understand the love of your parents. Sometimes you unintentionally put your family in a very normal position in your heart. You consider family as a natural thing, but there are things that only when we lose them do we realize their importance. Then one day the simple moments with family are no longer there. At that time you regret it, but it is too late. So from today, spend more time with your family to love and fully feel the boundless love of your mother, the strictness of your father, or the adorable spoiled distance of your younger sibling. Because after all, family is where love begins and never ends. Thank you for listening.
Followed by the fourth story, life advice. Courage is dare to face all challenges, even if you don't know if you can overcome it or not. Keep trying even if you might fail. Life has no meaning if we don't have to go through storms. People live to rise up and overcome difficulties. When you live based on frameworks, the only seed that sprouts is prejudice. Compassion can only be a true feeling coming from the bottom of the heart. The only thing people need to control is their attitude and behavior. The number of times a person succeeds and fails is not as important as their attitude, both when they succeed and when they fail. If you always wait until you are sure of victory before doing anything, you will never do anything. Sometimes getting what you want is not as meaningful as daring to give what you have. If you don't dare to accept failure to achieve something, then either you are a coward or you don't really want it. When adversity knocks you down, you have the choice to stay there or to stand up bravely. Thank you for listening.
Followed by the fifth story, keeping the water circle. When I was a child, my grandfather often took me for a walk around the lake near the farm. One day, he told me to throw a stone into the lake and then told me to observe and think about the circles that the stone created. I tried to think for a long time but still did not understand what he wanted to say. So he slowly explained that the stone created splashes of water that disrupted the peace of the creatures living around the lake as well as the water circle. What I did more or less affected the people around me. If I was happy, everyone would feel happy, and when I was sad or had an accident, everyone would feel that sadness. Remembering that I was the one responsible for the water circle I created was the first time I realized that a person's peace or mental turmoil could be transmitted to the outside world. Whether we say it out loud or hide it, our feelings and thoughts still interact with other people's water circles and create a certain influence on their emotions. So live so that your water circle always spreads good things, bringing peace and trust to everyone around you. Thank you for listening.